What's up, everybody? We're on Facebook Live, coming to you from the KSAT 12 studios for our, what are we calling this? The R&D show, the sports debrief?
R&D works for me. Research and
there
development.
You go.
Right
yeah,
here.
I like it.
We're researching and then we're developing opinions.
That's good, yeah. If you guys have any thoughts on maybe what we should call this, hopefully you can keep it friendly, but...
R&D.
Yeah.
Hey, let's start with the breaking news.
Yes. Oh,
what would you do if you were able to play baseball and make $430 million?
That seems like a pretty good gig there. Yeah, Mike Trout. Was that with the Angels that he signed that? Okay, yeah. Wow.
Working on a deal for 12 years, $430 million. So those contracts we saw earlier this year, the 300 and the 330?
Yeah, to Bryce Harper and Manny Machado, yes.
But 12 years, really? You think this guy's going to be a top quality, top-notch baseball player? He's, what, 27, I think? So when he's 39, he's still going to be producing like he was 27?
Mm-hmm.
For that money?
That's why I don't understand these baseball deals. I mean, they are they're lifetime deals, of course, but all this money is guaranteed. So good for Mike Trout, I guess. I thought baseball was in a little bit of a recession, kind of trying to trim down some of these massive salaries and contracts, but I guess not. But yeah, Mike
But
Trout,
how many World Series has he won?
That would be zero.
Yeah.
I don't think he's won any.
And
not that I can
these guys signed a couple of weeks ago. How many World Series have they won?
That would be zero.
It'd be zero.
Yeah.
So you're paying a lot of guys a lot of money to win nothing but a couple games a year, and thank you for showing.
Yeah. So good for Mike Trout.
So anyway, that's the breaking news for today. So that's time.
All right.
Let's get on to the real good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff. That would be the San Antonio Spurs, David. Big win last night against the Golden State Warriors. Man, just your initial thoughts on what we saw last night, and how are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling great. Man, that was a little playoff atmosphere in the AT&T Center last night. They came out and it was back and forth. They never let Golden State get ahead of them. Klay Thompson didn't know where the basket was. He didn't know which one he was shooting at. He didn't know where it was. He couldn't find the lane. He couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
I guess we're lucky he found his shoes.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he was like 0 for 8.
Klay started up. Yeah, I'm not sure what he finished with, but I know for the first half he was 0 for 8.
Yeah, I'll tell you what he finished.
Yeah, Klay struggled. Steph had a decent game, but struggled as well. Yeah, I mean,
Steph didn't really. Well, okay, I don't want to disagree with you, but I'm gonna disagree. Steph didn't have a very good game.
No, that's why I said he struggled, but he still had a decent.
Well, he had 25 points, but he took 25 shots to get those 25 points, and he made 9 out of 25 combined.
Right.
The Splash Brothers.
Yeah.
They didn't even drip anything, much less make a big splash. 14 of 43.
Yes.
So, and if you ask Klay Thompson, he'll tell you it was just shots weren't falling.
Yeah.
But
after the game, Klay was asked what the Spurs did defensively. Absolutely nothing. What he said, and he said they just missed some shots. But look, clearly, I think anyone could see if you guys are watching this game at home or maybe at the game, that the Warriors were frustrated. The Spurs did a good job of getting into them, kind of getting them off of their rhythm a little bit. And I think that was pretty evident. Steve Kerr even said it, defensively the Spurs have improved by leaps and bounds from the last time that we saw them play in Oakland or even during the rodeo road trip. So I think that's a great sign for the Spurs, just that they were able to frustrate a team like Golden State and really kind of, as we said, I mean, yes, they missed some shots, but at the same time, the Spurs defense had a lot to do with it.
And here's what we realized last night. And before the game, we talked to Steve Kerr, and he was talking about putting Andrew Bogut in the starting lineup because of LaMarcus Aldridge and Jakob Poeltl.
Yeah.
So Jakob Poeltl is having an effect on game planning and preparing for teams.
Right. Yeah.
And they're not used to Jakob Poeltl because he sat on the bench for most of the time, came off the bench, didn't start, and now he's starting, so teams are going to have to adjust. I think that's kind of works in the Spurs' favor, especially when you get to the rest of the season and get into the playoffs, because these guys aren't – they may play a team that they didn't play with Jakob Poeltl.
Well, and you brought up a great point last night's game about Jakob. Would you say where he's kind of everywhere without being anywhere?
He's like, where's Jakob?
Kind of
he's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
Yeah. He's nowhere, but he's there. That's right. He's nowhere, but he's everywhere.
Yeah, and there was that one play that kind of signified that, where there was a loose ball scramble, and then I forgot who picked it up, Patty or one of the guards, and Jakob was right under the basket. Easy, just pass right under Jakob. He seems to kind of, like you said, just be sort of in the right positions and the right spots. And I think that's a big part of what the Spurs are able to now kind of focus on defensively, just being in the right place and communication, consistency. That's been something that Pop has been preaching. DeMar, you heard it after the game, just being consistent. I think that's been kind of the biggest thing that Jakob has added to this squad, but all around they've been doing a great job.
6 points, 7 rebounds.
Yeah.
And to add to that, I think another thing is we've always seen these Spurs come in here and free agents come in here, and it's like they get a defined role. And it may not be scoring 25 points. It may be you just go in there, play some defense for a few minutes, and then come back and sit down. And I think Jakob has learned his role.
Yeah.
He knows he's not going to get 20 points a game, 15 points a game. Nobody's going to really pass him the ball except on a couple of give and goes, and they give him the ball. So he's going to get a couple of plays directed towards him.
Right.
Everything he's going to get off of points is going to be off the misses or kind of making his own way through there. And he knows that. And that's just that Spurs basketball. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know why I'm here, and I know why I'm on the floor, and I'm going to go do it. I'm not going to worry about anything else. I'm not going to worry about trying to score. And I'm not going to worry about doing this and doing that.
Yeah, it's something that, I mean, even like Bill Belichick says, to kind of do like an NFL analogy. Bill Belichick, the biggest thing with him is he's always just do your job. Yeah. And that's like you're saying. I mean, just do your job. I think when Powell was in there, there was always, Powell's good offensively. He can make some passes, but like you said, he was. It would kind of sometimes the offense went around Powell. The second, it was just a different mix.
Well, you remember last year we talked about
Jakob's now in there and he's playing great.
All the time, it was like we have 2 7-footers, but nobody's near the basket.
Right. Yeah. That's a great point.
Nobody was ever under there to get a rebound or get an offensive rebound or a putback or anything because LaMarcus is out there shooting and Powell's even further out shooting.
Yeah.
Love Powell, but he was way out there. Didn't do me any good when he didn't rebound.
Yes. Yeah.
But like you said, Jakob has learned to be that guy that's in that spot, and he fills that role just perfectly.
Absolutely.
I like that.
We got to figure out. Do we ever figure out what happened with Jakob's sunburn? Like, what happened there?
I think he fell asleep on one side of his
during
face.
During a day off or something.
Yeah. Was that when had the 3 days off?
Yes.
Apparently went out by the pool and just kind of slept on that side.
A lot of people on social media were asking what happened with Jakob, and obviously he must have, like you said, probably was laying out and had never been exposed to the South Texas sun.
Yeah.
So that was a good
sunscreen.
Yeah, that was a good introduction to what he could expect that this summer, because it's going to get hotter for sure.
Jakob is in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, love seeing Jakob play. The Spurs all around, great team effort. DeMar DeRozan really kind of has stepped up, especially in these big games. I mean, you could see DeMar kind of taking on this role of, wanting to make shots at the end of the game, fourth quarter. So any thoughts on DeMar? I'm going to check out some comments from you guys here.
I think he's finally feeling comfortable. Not that he didn't feel comfortable at the beginning, but I think he's finally feeling comfortable. And I look back to when the Spurs started, way back in October, to where they are now, and it's leaps and bounds. It's amazing, the improvement. And we always, I was talking to guys in the locker room last night, and they have a lot of talent. Yeah. This is a very talented team. Yeah. LaMarcus is a very talented basketball player. DeMar's, but it was just getting it together and meshing it together. One of the keys is they all like each other.
Yeah,
what does that remind you of?
Yeah, I mean
nothing against Kawhi Leonard, but you could tell there was some friction there.
Oh, absolutely. The team was divided last season with Kawhi, and there were some of the guys that were, on the side of Kawhi, that's fine, let him sit out. And then, of course, you had the guys like Tony and Manu that were like, you know what, we've been through so many battles, we don't need to deal with any of this right now.
I didn't mean to bring up that guy, but
they're like,
the difference is you can tell the difference when you walk in the locker room.
Yeah. Even after losses, they're always kind of, they've kind of stuck together throughout this whole season, through all the ups and downs. So it's been great.
So what are they? Are you guys excited? Are you 11 games left?
Right.
Miami tomorrow night, and then it's the playoffs. And something drastic is going to happen for them not to make the playoffs.
Right.
They're in the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs.
So. Well, that's a good segue here. Patrick Booker, thank you very much for commenting on our Facebook Live on KSAT Toll's Facebook page. Patrick says, yes, we watched Go Spurs Go. No one wants to play the Spurs in the first round.
He's
so here we go. Patrick, thanks for chiming in. We've been talking a lot about that. First round matchups. The Spurs are now in the 5th seed, right? As of morning?
Of right now, they're in the 5th seed. And they're only a game and a half behind Portland. Portland won last night, but they're only a game and a half behind Portland. They're tied with OKC, but they got the tiebreaker with OKC. So, I mean, this is I don't think anybody wants to play the Spurs in the first round, and I would not be surprised if they won both.
Right.
If they got to the second round and won the second round too.
Well, I mean, if let's say they stay around that 5-6 range, if you get the 6-3 matchup, probably be against the Rockets. At first, I wasn't a big a fan of playing in that series, but now I think that'd be a heck of a series. And then if you were to win that series, you probably get maybe Denver in the second round. Denver would maybe be the 2 seed, and then you're right. I mean, you never know. And these guys are peaking at the perfect time right now. I mean, they are really playing their best basketball of the season and really beating, a bunch of good teams along the process.
I look at Denver and I say never been there.
Right.
This team hasn't been there. They don't know what this playoff run is going to be about. I look at Houston. They got one guy on their team. Their defense. You have to have some defense in the playoffs, and they traded away their defense or let their defensive guys go.
Yeah.
So they got one guy, and he doesn't play much defense because he can't get past the 3-point line. So, I mean, I don't know that
plus the Pop D'Antoni
fearing
thing.
the beard
I mean,
Pop
has always had the upper hand on Mike.
OKC's got one guy, especially if Paul George doesn't come back.
Right.
They got one guy on their team.
Yeah.
I mean, because Michael Adams. I mean, he's big and he can play.
Steven Adams.
Steven Adams.
Yeah. I do remember Michael Adams.
Steven Adams. But I'm saying, I just think there's some teams that the way the Spurs are playing right now, the way the Spurs are playing defense, that I don't think the Spurs would fear, and then they would never tell you if they did. Yeah. But I don't think they would fear playing anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you would like to hold off Golden State for a while.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, the way they played last night, bring them on.
Exactly. Hey, good point there, because Jesse Ramon chimes in on Facebook Live here, and this is something that I know you always bring up, David. Toughness. And this is exactly what Jesse is talking about. He said, we popped the Warriors in the mouth.
Yeah, they did.
And I think they did.
I think they
did. And you saw the Warriors. Again, they were frustrated after the game. You could see that they were. Remember, Steph Curry got all upset about a call.
Well, he fouled Patty Mills at the end of the third quarter, and he went nuts. It's like, where are you going, Steph? Come back. He was like jumping and screaming and yelling, and they had to hold a couple of players to go over there and hold him back.
Right.
And then Steve Kerr came over and started yelling to the referee. It's like, is it not a foul when you jack somebody up as they're going to the hole? It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And, Kevin Durant had 5 fouls last night.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Frustrated KD. I think it was interesting to see the way they played KD. A lot of Derek White, actually, to start the game on KD. And Derek was in there. I mean, Derek's given up, a good, 5-6 inches.
Sure.
On Kevin Durant.
But Kevin Durant's given up a good 5-6 years. So, or maybe more. So, but you know what? Here's the thing. I always look back on some of the Spurs teams and think about how they operated, especially got the playoffs. You got to remember, these guys have played a lot of basketball. They played. I mean, not quite so much. And I've told this before, but at one point during the Spurs' big runs, when they were winning the championships and going to the finals all the time, they were averaging like 94 or 95 games a year. Yeah. Plus, Manu and Tony were going and playing with their country's teams in the summer. So they were playing a lot of basketball. That's a lot. That's a lot of mental. Yeah. And these guys, I think that's what their problem is this year. And if they think they're just going to crank it up come playoff time, maybe in the first round, but they're going to start running into problems in the second round, and they're definitely going to run into problems if they get to the Western Conference Finals, because it starts to prey on you mentally. And you're talking about Kevin Durant already wanting to go to New York and all that kind of stuff.
That whole
and
drama.
The Draymond Green drama and all that. So I mean, that's why I think they've lost 22 games. Yeah. They may not win 55 games this year.
Yeah.
Think about that.
You're right. I think they're a team that has been through a lot so far, but at the same time, it's like you're saying, we will hope to see them in the Western Conference Finals. If anything. Yeah.
I need another trip to San Francisco.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, definitely. Definitely would not mind that. So, all right, guys, appreciate you commenting with us. A lot of people just saying "Go Spurs, go!" A lot of people excited about it. We talked about home court earlier. Eric Taylor saying if the Spurs, want to be the 3 or 4 seed to get home court, probably want to do that. I mean, I don't see they've been great at home.
Yeah.
So definitely would want that any sort of series at home.
Before we move on to the Commanders tomorrow night, Miami, Dwayne Wade. I know we had some great battles against the Heat over the years, especially in 2 NBA finals when LeBron was down there. So you know what? And I do want to compliment the Spurs fans.
Uh-huh.
We're not like some of the other fans around the league. You guys are very respectful of the opponents.
Yeah.
We like to boo, and that's
Right.
fine. That's all part of it, and yell at the guys, but we don't get carried away here in San Antonio.
Yeah,
So.
and I'm guessing that the Spurs might have at least a little video tribute to Dwayne, because obviously Pop and Dwayne have a good relationship.
Oh, sure.
And I mean, you talk about those two finals. I mean, both were, I mean, just exciting. I mean, the first one was exhausting, exciting, thrilling. Everything you would want from a 7-game series, with the exception of the Spurs winning that championship.
But you know what? I mean, I look at it like, as a sports fan, if I just step back and not root for the Spurs, just as a sports fan. I mean, look at some of the incredible athletes you got to watch in that series.
Yeah,
and to watch a Dwayne Wade and to watch a LeBron. So I mean, you know, show your respect. I know you will, and it'll be a fun night to say goodbye to a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
and then we get ready for them to come back, and it's Manu's night.
There you go. Yeah,
Woo,
March 28th.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. All right, moving on, because David has to do a newscast in a bit. Yeah. The San Antonio Commanders. Okay, Commanders. The big news: they are on a 3-game winning streak. They're 4-2. They're finally back home. But over the weekend, said thanks but no thanks to Johnny Football. You called it last week when we did this. That it would not be in their best interest, and based on reaction I saw over the weekend on social media, I think a lot of people were more glad that the Commanders didn't bring Johnny in.
I'm not going to say Memphis is not a smart team, because obviously they're trying to sell some tickets because they've won one game this year. But I think the teams, there's a certain, what's a word other than smart? If you look at the Spurs organization, it's all about the culture, and on the floor, it's all about chemistry. It's all about having adults in the room, and when one of them acts up, if he acts up too bad, you get rid of him, Steven Jackson. So I mean, and I think
we saw that.
I think it kind of transferred over to the Commanders. It's like, we're going to go with the adults in the room. We're going to stick with this group. We don't need to bring in, you know, the dude from down the street to disrupt what we got going here.
Now, I mean, obviously on the business end of it, probably would have sold more tickets, but the Commanders, I think, are not going to have any issue doing well. They have 3 straight home games. I think these are going to be some great weeks at the Alamo Dome. And Johnny, I mean, was he even going to play for the Commanders? Probably not. He's probably going to be on the bench. And we will get to see Johnny, because this is a little bit of a conspiracy theory, but last week the AAF agreed to show a nationally televised game. Guess what? It's going to be Memphis at San Antonio, April 6th.
Wow.
Yeah. You wonder if there was a little bit of a...
So buy your ticket. There you go. You want to see Johnny Manziel? If you were one of those that wanted him to come to San Antonio, he's coming to San Antonio. So go get your ticket.
April 6th, the Memphis Express will be here in San Antonio. But, a lot of people seem to be kind of relieved that Commanders...
3-2, right?
4-2.
4-2. I'm sorry, 4-2. So we're a little over halfway through this season.
Yeah.
Exciting football. I mean, they've been gone for a month, so, and they're wrapping this. This is what I like about it. This season is not dragging on 16, 17 games for free. I mean, they're like, bam, 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 here we go. We're going to be in the playoffs where it's all over and be done. So that's kind of fun.
I know, that will be. Yeah, absolutely.
It's moving good, and they're playing well.
Eric Taylor chimes in on our Facebook Live. He says, even though I want to see Johnny Manziel redeem himself, he could have been a distraction to the team. And that's really the one thing. I mean, obviously, Johnny is a local guy, Kerrville Tivy star, played at A&M, but I think it'd be interesting to see if he were able to turn this around. He's had several chances now. So hopefully Johnny can finally turn this around. And, you know, again, they're going to be here April 6th, so... Commanders fans, get your tickets.
And the Commanders are on a roll. I mean, they're the second best team in the AAF.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mike Crowley's got that going.
Yeah, it's been fun to see them over this 4-game stretch. And again, they're back home here on March, this Saturday to take on, I think it's the Salt Lake Stallions. So
that's what else we were going to talk about.
March Madness. Yes.
I've filled them out yet.
Have you guys filled out your bracket?
They can get on the KSAT 12 and challenge, and you know, we got 4, what is it, Santikos tickets?
Yes.
Movie tickets.
Yes.
So go to KSAT 12 website, get on there, and I know a lot of folks from Channel 12. Myself, you're on there.
I'm gonna fill out one. Yeah.
Simmons will fill one out. Justin Horns filled one. Justin Horns filled one out, and then he scratched out the mountain freeway. I'm like, what, dude, man, come on. Make up your mind. So,
that was funny. It's that little seed of doubt that we put in Justin's head, and he's like, Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll change my team. Yes. No.
But there's a bunch of us. So
Yeah.
get on there and have some fun. And it's Duke,
Great point.
North Carolina. It's Gonzaga. See, I don't think Gonzaga's the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Duke, North Carolina might be. Duke better tie their shoes a little tighter. And Virginia and
Zion,
we got to get
Zion
through
looked
these.
pretty good. Zion in the ACC tournament.
But you think Nike sent him some new shoes?
Oh, absolutely.
They
went back to the lab for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, they did
Woo!
anything and everything possible to make sure that did not happen.
So here's my question: do you like these play-in games? Shouldn't we just get to the 64 and get going? Or do you like all these play-in games? Come on.
Yeah.
The tournament shouldn't last for 6 months.
Do you like the play-in games?
No, I don't.
I
don't
hate
like
them.
Any of them. I don't like any of them.
Yeah, I don't see the point of them. I absolutely hate them. Yes.
And then they had the one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they had more.
They
got a week of play-in games. What did you just do for the whole season?
Yeah.
You tried to play in to get to the tournament, right? Isn't that why you have all these conference tournaments to play in to get to the 64?
Yeah.
So why do we need
pretty much what you do?
more play-in games?
So, and that's what's confusing is that we have 2 games tonight and 2 games tomorrow, and technically this is the first round. When really it's not the first round, so it's just that was dumb. I don't know why they not just keep it at 64.
It's kind of like when they went to the when they went to the week off in high school football and had 0 week.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, 0 week. Yeah,
this is
that don't make any sense.
This is like the zero round.
Yeah.
I don't need a plane. I don't need a bunch of schools. Plus, half these schools don't even know where they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, and even this one, Webb up there.
Gardner Webb.
Gardner Webb. Where's that? Where's Gardner Webb?
I want to say like in North Carolina. If anyone knows where Gardner Webb is, let us know.
And what is F. Dickinson? Where's that school?
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Where's that? Where are those guys?
Northeast. I know that. Okay, good. Northeast New York area.
I'm not picking them to win.
Yeah. That's good.
So, I got Texas Tech going to the 8. I don't know if they're going to make a Final Four or not, but they're going to the 8.
Yeah,
so
I would say don't
Tech.
pick. Oh yeah. How about your Red Raiders, man?
Yeah, they lost the first game of the tournament.
Maybe it was they got that bad loss out of the way.
That's what I'm going with, because they won like 7 or 8 in a row.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's lose one before we get to the tournament.
Yeah.
That was like, I don't know if that's good philosophy or not.
So as David said, we have a KSAT bracket challenge online right now. You get to challenge us, and as we said, there's also a Santikos package that you get to also get in a drawing to get. So. Pretty exciting stuff. March Madness coming up here this week. And,
are there some good movies in the theaters?
There is a Captain Marvel is a pretty good one.
There you go.
I saw Katie Blake tweet about it the other day.
So you get you a free, get you some free tickets.
That'd be nice. Yeah,
you and some friends go see Captain Marvel.
You were talking about the brackets. We did, of course, the Spurs chat earlier today on GMSA at 9 a.m. And during the break, Mark Austin was having Leslie pick out his bracket or some bracket by just doing the seeding. He was doing 8 versus 4, 5 versus 12. And you know what? She may get the best bracket out of all of us.
Well, I think she's going to have a problem with Liberty being in the Final Four.
Oh, okay. Leslie picked Liberty to be in the Final Four.
I think Liberty ended up in the Final Four. But other than that,
then she's good. Yeah, she's all right then. Yeah.
We have people picking by the mascots.
Mascots, yeah.
And there was some way you could pick it by Scrabble, the name of the school with the highest points on a Scrabble board. Yeah. So I mean, and those are the ones that win. Yeah,
we have another comment here. Eric Taylor, thank you again for being with us on Facebook Live, Eric. He said UTSA should have been in the tournament. The Roadrunners had a nice season. I think, as he said there, a lot of injuries to start the year, especially to their star guard, Javon Jackson. We'll see what happens with UTSA, but they are definitely a program that is on the rise. So UTSA had a nice season this year.
Speaking of UTSA, they started spring practice.
Yeah,
they gotta have one. They gotta find a quarterback.
Yeah, they including in that mix Frank Harris, the former Clemens quarterback, had a couple of knee injuries over the past 2 seasons. So
he's kind of up there right now, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, well, Coach Wilson last year said that Harris was supposed to be their starter.
Yeah.
Tore his ACL. So prayers to Frank that you get better and make it through the spring. I think, he'd be in a good shot to get maybe that starting job.
A lot going on.
So, a lot going on.
I got to go to work.
You got to do
It's
your
been
other
fun.
stuff.
So we'll see you on KSAT 12 News at noon.
Absolutely,
So,
yes.
But hey, it's a good day. Thanks for coming. Thanks for calling. Thanks for coming. Thanks for calling. Thanks for Facebooking.
All right.
Is that Facebooking?
This is Facebooking, yeah. Commenting. We appreciate it, guys, on our Facebook Live. And again, Spurs tomorrow night against Miami Heat. Looking for 10 in a row.
And then they go out on the road for 4, right?
3.
3? 3 or 4?
It's Houston, Boston, and Charlotte.
And then they come home for...
Is it Sacramento? I think maybe. Yeah, we'll have to check on that.
Houston, Boston,
Charlotte.
I thought it was 4.
Maybe it is.
Boy, you better check that before you go away. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
We're going to do some research on the fly. I thought it was 3 in a row.
Then we were coming back for... don't go away. Then we were coming back for Manu on the Thursday. But hold on. Maybe
someone earlier made a comment here, now that we're still on. It says that Pop is a boss.
Hey, the new phrase, though, is from LaMarcus Aldridge. What did he say? It's winning time.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Winning time.
It's winning time.
Yeah. So what we got here?
So hold on.
But yeah, again, whoever comments, I'm looking for the comments. Says Pop is a boss. Definitely that.
Okay, so it's Spurs, Heat. That's at home. Mm-hmm. Spurs at the Rockets. Mm-hmm. Spurs at the Celtics. Spurs at the Hornets.
The Manu game. The Manu game is the one where
I thought it was a 4-game road trip, but that's next. But on the 20th, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then home for Manu,
number 20. Yeah, going up to the rafters.
Nice. Okay, so it's 3 on the road and Manu.
Yeah.
So, okay, now we can say goodbye.
Yeah.
Thanks
there we
for
go.
joining.
Bye, y'all. Thanks again.